Georgette Henry, aka GL Douglas, and I'm also known as the Good Girl of Comedy. I am a wife, a mother, a teacher, a sister, but one of the biggest components of my life is I am a stand-up comedian. So relationships to me mean everything. It mean the world. Because in life, life is about building relationships. Because no man is an island. I don't care where you work, where you live, what you do. You have to build relationships from your neighbors to your coworkers to just your family. You know, your relationship between mother and child, husband and wife. Life is about relationships. So relationships ultimately mean everything. So in the world of comedy, comedy is built on relationships. You have to understand when you're a new comic and you're first doing it, somebody has to trust you to open up their stage to you in order for you to hone your craft. And that takes relationship. A lot of times you hear the saying that says it's not what you know, but it's who you know. And it's no different in comedy. So as somebody who's been in comedy for ultimately 17 years now, I have established a number of relationships. And it's funny because how the relationships, they go through different stages. When I first started out as a comic, I was just trying to build relationships with comedians from, because a comedian is somebody that would say, hey, I'm doing this open mic tonight. Would you like some time? And everything like that. But as I started growing and developing and honing my craft and started, taking it a little bit more seriously, I have now switched roles where now I'm a producer, I'm a booker. I am the one that's opening up opportunities for other people. And also, one of the biggest things that people don't really realize in comedy, relationships is so important in building your audience. Because I've been in comedy so long, I'm feel blessed that I have established an audience. I have established what they call a following. So whenever I do go to put a production together or do a show together, put something together, people just trust me. They may not know the comedians that I'm bringing to them, because a lot of times, if you're not a connoisseur of comedy, or if you're not in a comedy game, you don't know who these comedians are unless you know big names like your Kevin Hart. But your local comedians who are so funny, but they haven't had that spotlight on them, you're bringing this level of entertainment to an audience. The audience trusts me because they know me and they know the relationship that they built with me. And they're like, well, I may not know this person on the flyer, but I know GL is going to give quality entertainment. So in that regard, relationships mean everything. Another important aspect about relationships in comedy is people have to be able to trust you in terms of just being a woman of your word. I've always counted it, deemed it really important to just have a good name in comedy. If you ever hear GL Douglas, you're not going to ever hear anybody say, oh, she robbed me, or she told me she was going to pay me this much, and then she bought, because when people try to scam you, this is how they pay you in comedy. They be like, here, let me holler at you. Now, after the show, after you done told your jokes, you can't get it back. Okay, it's not like a product where you can be like, you ain't paying me back my stuff. Now I done stood on this stage for 30 minutes, told my jokes, and then they be like, come here, let me holler at you. Ticket sales was low. But and this how they pay you. They ball their hand up and try to drop the money in your hand. See, no, you ain't gonna never hear anybody say that GL Douglas did you like that. I pride myself on the fact that if I am not in a position that I can just pay for my talent, if one ticket is never sold, I will come out of pocket to make sure I honor my commitment. And like I said, I've been in the game for 17 years. And because people know that I'm honest, I'm not trying to beat nobody, I ain't trying to rob nobody. If I say I'm going to give you something, that's what you're going to get. You ain't got to stand there and open up your envelope. In fact, I'm the type of person, I pay you before you go on stage. That's always been my thing. Here's your money before you perform, because once you go out there, you can't, if something goes wrong, you can't get it back. So because of that, relationships for me have been super, super beneficial because they know that I'm a woman with a good name. Okay, so recently my life has changed and it's been on speed. I'm talking rapid. So you guys have to understand, I went from being the ultimate single chick. Okay, I lived by myself for many, many years. I didn't have a husband, no kids, no anything. I was able to pick up and go. I traveled immensely through comedy. And I didn't have to consult with anybody. I didn't have to talk to anybody or consider anybody because I was the single chick. I was like, I'm living a single life. Right? And then all of a sudden, I have 2 babies now, a 3-year-old and a 10-month. Yeah. So my whole world changed. And so my relationship with comedy had to change. So I now have to count the cost. If somebody calls me, it would be nothing when I was single. It would be nothing for somebody to call me and be like, hey, can you come to Brooklyn tomorrow night? $50, show start at 10 p.m. I'm there. Okay. Now, if somebody calls me now with that same offer, I'm like, number one, it's going to cost me $50 to get to Brooklyn. Number two, 10 o'clock. Do you understand? I have 2 babies that I have to consider. I do believe, and I'm still kind of old-fashioned, as progressive as I am, I still have some old-fashioned qualities. I do take my husband's opinions into consideration. So I talk to him. I just don't say, oh yeah, I'm there, and I'm be like, babe, yeah, tomorrow night it's on you. I'm out for this good $50 that you ain't gonna see. I can't do that. So my relationships with my children are important. It's so funny because my 3-year-old has been in more green rooms than a little bit because she has traveled with me. She goes to shows with me whenever appropriate. Like I always ask the question, is it something I could bring my children to? And my husband has been super duper 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 important. I'm sorry, not important. He's important, but he's been super duper supportive. He's all about, listen, if this is what's gonna make you happy, I'm there. He comes to shows with me whenever he can. And then there are times when I'm like, babe, I just don't want to pay a babysitter. So he'd be like, all right, I got the kids tonight. So us having a relationship that works for us is so conducive for me in order to be able to do what I do, because people like when I first started, when I first got pregnant, people were like, oh, you still gonna be able to do comedy? Let me tell you something. Similac costs $32 a can. Daycare costs average about $1,200 a month. I better do comedy, okay? Yeah. So and then when I had the second baby, I was like, yeah, and now my prices are going up because now I'm back to square one with the Similac. So relationships with my family is so important. And if you ever listen to my set, I talk about my husband a lot in my set. I talk about my babies, and particularly my 3-year-old. She gives me life and material. So yeah, my relationships with my family has definitely changed, but it's really important. I just thank God for the relationships that I have established over the years. Thank God for a healthy marriage, healthy children, healthy relationships with my family, because that's number one over everything. Actually, thank God for a relationship with God, because without Him, none of this would be possible. And just for the blessings that He's bestowed upon me, and just for the people that I've been able to meet and establish relationships throughout the course of the years. Sometimes when you don't feel like you're in a place where you deem you should be. Like, I've been doing this for so long, I should be here, and I'm only here. But then I have to sometimes sit back and I just be like, but I did do this. I did Showtime at the Apollo. I won the McDonald's Gospel Fest. I did a reality show for VH1. I've done a lot, and I've met some major people along the way, and I just thank God for relationships. So once again, y'all, I'm Georgette Henry, aka GL Douglas. I'm a mother, a sister, a wife, a comedian, and I am building positive relationships.